Let me take you inside one of the most audacious military operations of recent times. No warning shots, no dramatic countdown, no televised build-up, just silence, darkness, and a plan that had been months in making. The mission had a name, Operation Absolute Resolve, and its objective was as clear as it was bold: capture Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro alive and bring him back to United States. This wasn't a spontaneous strike, it wasn't a reaction, it was the final move in a long term. For months, American intelligence had been watching Maduro very closely, not from satellites alone, but from inside the Venezuela itself. They tracked his daily routine, where he went, how he moved, who guarded him, and most importantly, where he slept. Even the layout of his safe house was mapped in detail, and this is where it gets unsettling. US intelligence didn't observe from a distance. They reportedly placed sources close to Maduro, people who had access, people who could confirm the patterns, timings, and vulnerabilities everywhere. By early December, the picture was quite complete. The United States knew when to strike. Then came Saturday morning, or rather early Saturday morning, when most of the Caracas was asleep. At around 2 a.m., the Venezuelan capital went dark. Power outages spread across the city, air defenses were first hit, communication was disrupted, and suddenly the night sky filled with the sound of an aircraft. There was no sirens, no official warnings, no controlled chaos. Any guesses why? Because the radar system couldn't catch or detect the US aircrafts coming into the Venezuela soil. Within minutes, American aircraft fighters, bombers, and surveillance planes converged over the Venezuela. More than 150 aircraft had launched from around 20 bases across the Western Hemisphere. This wasn't just an airstrike. This was total air dominance by US. Targets included ports, military installations, and air bases. Explosions lit up the sky. People woke up thinking it was thunderstorm, except that there was no clouds, no rain, no storm, only warplanes. As the air campaign unfolded, helicopters moved in at a very low, extremely low, schemingly beneath the radar coverage, because the radar shouldn't capture or detect them, and that was the main idea, to fly low. At exactly 2:01 a.m., US helicopters reached Maduro's compound. They landed onto the Maduro's house compound, and then it enters the elite Delta Force units, and they were onboarded, heavily armed, fully prepared to fight, and they had trained for this moment repeatedly, using a full-scale replica of Maduro's safe house, complete with reinforced walls and steel doors. Every corridor was memorized, every entry point rehearsed, every second time. They moved fast, room to room, corridor to corridor, hallway to hallway, as if everything was pre-rehearsed rigorously. One helicopter was even hit. For a moment, the mission could have unraveled and it could have destroyed the entire mission, but the aircraft stayed there airborne and the operation continued. Inside the compound, Maduro was already trying to escape. His destination was reinforced to a reinforced safe room, so he tried to escape to a reinforced safe room, but it couldn't happen. A steel door designed specifically to withstand for such an attack, but he didn't make it up to the secret room or the reinforced safe room. According to the US officials, Maduro and his wife Cilia Flores surrendered. No prolonged standoff, no dramatic escape attempt, no magical or miraculous escape, just they raised their hands and they surrendered. Within minutes, they were extracted and rushed to the waiting helicopters. By 4:29 a.m., the helicopters were over the open air and Caracas was fading into the distance. The mission was over. Mission got complete. It had taken just 150 minutes to complete the entire operation. But journey was far from finished. Maduro was flown to the US warship stationed in international waters off Venezuela's coast. Images later showed him handcuffed, blindfolded, and dressed in a plain grey clothing. From there, he was transferred to Guantanamo Bay in Cuba. Then came the final leg, an aircraft bound for the United States. Today, Nicolás Maduro is in US custody. He has been taken to the New York and he's been taken as a custody by the USA, held at a federal detention facility in the New York. He faces very serious charges, including narco-terrorism and drug trafficking, which are very, very serious charges. What stands out is not just the speed of the operation, but its precision. No American casualties were reported, no prolonged conflicts followed, no drama happened, and the Venezuela military never regained control of the skies. It was as tilt and as surgical as it could be. This operation lasted 2.5 hours, but it was built over months of surveillance, infiltration, rehearsals. It was highly rehearsed by the US armed forces, and everything what was done and rehearsed in very minute or minuscule of a detail, and every delays were preconceived, how it could have been done, how it could have been optimized, and waiting for a perfect condition was there. In fact, the order to strike was almost given days earlier, but weather conditions forced a pause. Cloud cover was too thick, this risk was too high, so they waited. And when the green light finally came at 10:46 p.m. Eastern time on Friday night, everything moved at once. This was not just a military operation, it was an out and out message. A message to the allies, a message to the adversaries, and a message to regimes that believed geography or alliances would protect them. Operation Absolute Resolve has now changed Venezuela's future, and it has reshaped America's role in the region. Whether this mark that beginning of the stability is a beginning of a stability or a new phase of uncertainty remains to be seen. But one thing is very undeniable, and you cannot argue with: this was not improvisation, this was not impulsive, this was a resolve executed with highest precision, and the world is still absorbing what it means. My name is Parag Bide, you can call me Paddy. So if you like this video, do not forget to subscribe and click the bell icon and click the like button, and if possible share it with your friends. But following and subscribing is required, and we will follow with you in our next story.